destroyed, brah.
If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening
We would
drive.
like to thank
the
the
best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
A little bit of a statement last night. A little bit of a, hey, remember us. A little bit of, we got a heck of a roster. That's what that was last night. As the Philadelphia Eagles said, we are still here. We are still really, really good. And all of you who want to anoint the Lions or maybe even the Commanders, we are still here. What's up, boys and girls? Merry Friday. Welcome to it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Appreciate you being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. On a beautiful Friday, we invite you to get in at 505-246-0610. How you living?
What it do?
You all right?
All right.
Big day, big weekend. Lobo women's basketball tonight here on the Sports Animal against Western New Mexico. Tomorrow night, Lobo football against Washington State in a gigantic game for New Mexico. And then, of course, the big one that you've been looking forward to so much for Lobo men's basketball over on News Radio KKOB on Sundays. The Lobos go to St. John's. But, JJ, last night, Eagles 26, Commanders 18. Saquon Barkley scores a pair of fourth-quarter touchdowns. And it happened like that, bang, bang, on two big runs. He had his eighth game this season with at least 100 yards from scrimmage, the most in the NFL. He had 198. And the Eagles' defense handled Jaden Daniels, came up with big plays. They fought off a bad night by their kicker, which, of course, JJ picked up a new kicker. Who do you think it was? You know how that works, right? I just thought this was a statement for them. It was two teams at the top of the NFC, separated by a half a game. Here come the new guys, and to me, this was the Eagles who, boy, everything that's been said, they got to fire their coach. All they do is win, and here they are sitting now at 8-2, and everybody wants to anoint the Lions, and that's fair. And I'll still think the Lions probably are the best team in the NFC, but the Eagles aren't far behind if they're behind at all.
The Eagles aren't in the same tier as Detroit. They're to me, they've been able to overcome the noise that there were legit questions. You look at the way they ended last season. The relationship between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, that was a fair question there. They were bad last year. They got blown out of the playoffs last year. And so you're wondering, all right, we know he's an aggressive coach, not always the most polished guy, so it was easy to jump on Nick Sirianni for things, and there were legit things on the football field to be worried about for the Eagles, but there has been zero issues off the field this season. They're immensely talented. They have a quarterback that's been to a Super Bowl. They have all the pieces in place at the different levels, from new franchise left tackle to a top-level quarterback to explosive pieces in the offense. And then the coordinators were just as big as anything that they did in the offseason. Vic Fangio defensively for a unit that's talented. Kellen Moore offensively. So Sirianni just making the decisions, and he made the right decisions last night. Even after the early missed field goals, he still put Jake Elliott back out there, kicks field goals. It was a slow start. And then in that fourth quarter, they took over the game because the Commanders were right there, but you never felt like they were going to explode. You just felt like maybe a player or two, they could take the lead, and we'll get into not kicking a field goal to take the lead for the Commanders. But the Eagles overall have shown you all season long that they deserve to be on the same tier as the Lions. They're a step ahead of a young team like the Commanders, and Washington is just like Houston last year. where you credit the young quarterback. You say, wow, this team is really good, but there's a different level of established teams, and we saw that last night.
I think the difference between them and Houston is there wasn't a Philadelphia Eagles in front of Houston last year in the AFC South, and that's why they were able to go ahead and win their division. And there is a Philadelphia Eagles who has won 6 in a row, and you start going back, okay, and we talked about this yesterday, who have they beaten? And they've beaten the teams that have been put in front of them. They don't make their schedule, although it's going to get a little tougher for them now. Here come the Rams and the Ravens, and it's going to get a little bit tougher, and the Steelers are coming, and the Commanders again. But to me, taking care of business is that's the weekly chore in the NFL. And what I watched last night is a really good defensive effort, right? And so the Commanders scored with 28 seconds to go to make this thing an 8-point game. It wasn't that close. The turnovers, they took care of the rookie quarterback. He was 22 of 32 with a touchdown and interception. The touchdown coming late. They completely took the wide receivers out of the game. In fact, the Commanders' wideouts combined for 4 catches and 28 yards combined. I mean, we're talking about guys like Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown and the guys that have been doing it so well for them combined. I mean, I look at the line. Terry McLaurin, who's been killing it, 1 catch. I'm sorry if he was on your fantasy team. I'm stoked if you were playing against him. But he had 1 catch on 2 targets for 10 yards. And that's not all just Jaden Daniels not looking at him. That's a lot of what the Eagles did. I was really, really impressed with Philadelphia. And again, JJ, I'm going to go back to the word I used off the top. I really believe this was a statement by them. We're still here. And now they get the mini bye, and they get the Rams next, and it feels like they're rolling right now.
Absolutely. That's what Philadelphia has been doing. And the Eagles fans last night after the game chanting, "Thank you, Giants." Barkley. This is the difference a top-level running back makes. If you are a good team and then you add a Saquon Barkley, you add a Derrick Henry, it can take your offense to another level. And I think we all liked those off-season signings, and we knew this is going to be pretty darn good. And they've been better than advertised with what they've added to they've made good offenses great.
Give it to Howie Roseman and the front office of Philadelphia. They went out, and he was on the market, and they went out and made sure they did what they needed to get him. And then Kellen Moore's utilized him. And I think Kellen Moore, look, he's a rising star, been a rising star, and he continues to rise. But the former Cowboys offensive coordinator, Chargers offensive coordinator, Boise State quarterback, Prosser High School Mustang quarterback, is figured this thing out pretty well. And not only did they get him, they're using him, and he's healthy, which he wasn't. Look, there's part of me that feels for Joe Shane. He's the general manager of the Giants, and I don't know how much of the off-season Hard Knocks you all watched, but it really walked you through the process of them deciding that they couldn't afford to keep Saquon Barkley at what he wanted. And they all like Saquon. It's hard not to like Saquon Barkley. But the process to decide to not sign him. JJ, they got to be sitting there, and they're sick to their stomach. And if you're a Giant fan, you got to barf every time you watch because he is that guy. And your point's right. You get a special back like that, and there's not that many of them. Derrick Henry's one of them. He's one of them. There's not that many in the National Football League. The key here is, JJ, he's been healthy. In New York, he couldn't stay healthy. And I wonder if he didn't have that injury history in New York, would they have made a different decision? And I wonder how much that played into it. But so far, I mean, to your, when you say it all the time, and the greatest ability is availability, he's been available and he's been really good.
Yeah, and, Barkley is one of those guys that you're frustrated, with the injuries, and it's the conversation of, you can find a running back and you can build that production, which you can.
Yeah.
There's a reason some of these teams don't want to pay a running back, but if you're established, paying a good running back can take you to another level. I can understand where the Giants were coming from. Would Saquon Barkley be your best offense player? Yeah. But with Saquon Barkley, are they a 3-7 team? 4-6 team? Like, they're still not flipping that record around. So when you have the ability to afford it and get a guy of that level when you are an established team, running backs can absolutely change things for you.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is why do they pay Daniel Jones instead of him? And you even Micah Parsons, who's got to get in on everything, right? Micah Parsons, the Cowboys defensive stud, put out a tweet yesterday, quote, all jokes aside, they Giants almost made us believe Saquon wasn't him anymore. That really says a lot. Daniel Jones was paid over Saquon. He was worth more to their franchise. This really says a lot. They made a mistake, man. Look, they paid a quarterback. And look, on the surface, if you say franchise X in the NFL, you got to pay your quarterback or you got to pay your running back. Who are you going to pay?
Well, they didn't just pay Daniel Jones. Like, they could have absolutely signed Saquon Barkley if they wanted to.
Yep.
Daniel Jones
Yep.
is like a cheap quarterback.
$40 million.
Like, Jalen Hurts is making more money than Daniel Jones.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, he's $40 million. And they decided to go the other way. All right, we got a ton to do on a Friday. Can't wait to hear from you. Headed into a big, big weekend. Lobo football against an exciting Washington State team. We're going to get into a little bit about their quarterback and their John Mateer and who he is and why their offense has been so good and why they're ranked 21st in the country and why they've been beating everybody but Boise State and the opportunity that's in front of Lobo football. We'll get into that. Lobo basketball gets to go on the road. They'll be at Madison Square Garden. You got big fights coming up this weekend. You got the Tyson-Jake Paul fight, and of course John Jones gets back in the octagon against Stipe Miocic, and also in Madison Square Garden, which is crazy how they turned that arena. By the way, that'll be Saturday night. We got all kinds of stuff to do. Want to hear from you? 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. Area code 505-246-0610. Your emails come in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Adrian's producing for you. You can watch us and see the beautiful, I don't even know what it is outside my window, dude. It's like a wall. I got, like, what's your view? Oh, there's a wall. And they tell me there might be some construction at 9 o'clock, JJ. They say it gets really loud from 9 to 5, so we'll work through that. When we come back, other NFL stuff as you go through the week. Who's healthy, who's not, who's going to play, who might not play, and Mike McCarthy viewing this bad start as an opportunity. Okay, then. Hey, if you got opportunities, you're throwing a party, you're throwing a convention, a gala, a meeting, a reception. Albuquerque Convention Center is your spot. If you're still looking for that spot for the holiday party, I'll bet they can still take care of you. I know it's getting late. Was it an event at the convention center just earlier this week? Spectacular, as it always is. Parked in the garage, adjacent to the facility, real easy to walk in. Easy access, great service. The food was tremendous. It is your spot, your ideal spot for your ideal venue. It's right in the heart of downtown Albuquerque. 600,000 square feet plus of diverse spaces. They'll accommodate anything imaginable, from intimate meetings and gatherings to grand expos and conferences. Their staff, their service, their food and beverage options go above and beyond. Your dream event does become reality. So when you're thinking about booking an event, no matter how big or not big it is, it's big to you, and it will be big to them. They will go above and beyond. Go online, check out the Albuquerque Convention Center. It's at albuquerquecc.com, and then give them a call. 505-768-4575. Area code 505-768-4575. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own.
Did see that video
You did?
where the slap?
Tyson went out there and slapped him, and and then Jake Paul says, I didn't even feel it. He hits like a little elf, or that little, he's an angry little elf is what he said. He hits like a, yep. I mean, are we really going to watch this? This is really happening?
It's like watching a car crash. It's like watching reality television. This is what it is. They're not trying to spin it like this is some legit boxing match. This is a 58-year-old man that, well, we saw him knock out people 30 years ago. He should be able to do it. And against a YouTuber that plenty of people would love to see get knocked out.
I don't even know if this is the toughest fight Jake Paul has taken, right? I mean, he fights former basketball players and MMA guys in the boxing ring, but I mean, he doesn't really fight boxers. And I don't even know that I think that Mike is a boxer anymore because he's 58 years old and he's 30 years away from his prime.
Like, Mike Tyson is still someone I never want to get hit by. But
sure,
we can make fun of Jake Paul, and he hasn't really fought anybody. That is still a dude in his late 20s that's in shape, that trained. And I thought one of the interesting things was, Dana White was on the Jim Rome show yesterday, and Dana White was pretty pessimistic about it. He was kind of worried that like Mike Tyson could get hurt in this just because he's an old guy. And I do think that it's fun to joke about and think about, Mike Tyson knocking people out. But yeah, that dude is legit almost 60 years old, and we're thinking that he's going to be okay just because he used to knock fools out in the 90s.
Well, and see, that's what's so hard. You remember what Mike Tyson was, right? And so you're like, wow, I'm going to see Mike Tyson in a ring tonight. Damn, it's been a minute since I saw Mike Tyson. Well, holy bleep, Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet. Mike Tyson was feared. He was a thumb. He was a pit bull. He dropped fools in 90 seconds and less and under a minute. It was so in your mind, if you're of that age and you recall Mike Tyson being Mike Tyson, it's almost impossible to think, well, some guy's going to go in and knock out Mike Tyson. If you're able to back yourself out of that, and I'm still having a problem doing that, if you're able to back yourself away and think of it like Dana White does, dude's 58. I'm sure he's trained, and I'm sure he's in really good 58-year-old shape, right? Jake Paul, to your point, is a trained fighter. Now, who's he fought against? Have you seen some of the shots that he's dropped guys with? He hits hard. He is a fighter. He is trained. All this does for him is raises his profile, raises his bank account. But yet it's almost like, okay, so if he knocks out a 58-year-old dude, does that give him more cred? Does that make him better? Like, it almost feels like it's all, what does Jake Paul have to win, and he's got a lot to lose here? You know what I'm saying? Other than making a whole lot of money.
He doesn't have that much to lose at all.
If he gets beat by a 58-year-old dude?
Okay, but he's not fighting for a real championship belt. He's not trying to climb a ladder. This is all marketing and headlines, and he will get the next fight against some former fighter, some former celebrity, because this
football
is
player,
fighting, not legit legacy stuff.
Understood. But you don't have anything to lose in the marketing and what did you just say? Marketing and
no
hype.
Like, all right, you got knocked out by an old Mike Tyson. You're all it is hype and storyline telling. Like, this isn't legit. Okay, you just got knocked out, so you have to go fight X, Y, and Z to get another title shot.
Yeah, well, I understand that part of it. I understand it doesn't knock you down the ladder, but at some point, right? What makes you watch Jake Paul fights? He's all hype, right? Does he lose some hype if he loses to a 68-year-old dude or a 58-year-old dude? I don't look. I'm fascinated by it. I am. I want to see it. I absolutely want to see it. I think most of you want to see it. Who's going to win? Like if you had to put money on it, who wins?
I'd probably take Jake Paul.
So were you there before you listened to Dana White yesterday?
I was leaning that way.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. This is just pure gladiator entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, we're watching because we watch movies on a Friday night. We watch reality television. It's exactly what you do on a Friday night. Now you just happen to have a 58-year-old Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul to fill that Netflix and chill gap for you.
Is there an undercard on this, or is it just him?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Are you watching Boys and Girls? I'm really curious. Are you fascinated? Because I am. Are you as fascinated as I am by this? I'd love your thoughts. And if so, and even if not, who you got? If you had to bet this fight, who you got? You got Mike, who was 3 decades ago the baddest man on the planet, the most feared guy in a ring. Guy didn't lose until he lost. Well, you got Jake Paul, who's, 27 years old or whatever it is, in his prime. Not a pro fighter, or not a pro boxer, but a fighter who's been knocking fools out, who's in his prime, who's in shape, who's strong. I mean, all common sense tells you it's got to be Jake Paul, right? But still, there's that intrigue that, damn, dude, that's Mike Tyson. Or was that Mike Tyson? And I guess we'll find out tonight, man. I just watched the weigh-in from yesterday, and Tyson go up there and slap him, and Jake Paul just stood there and trolled him. He's got these diamond-studded ear covers, he said, so he doesn't get his ears bit off. Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how you get here. I'd love your thoughts. Like, are you watching this? Are you in on this? Is this, how you're spending your Friday night? Because a lot of people are. All right, JJ, the Cowboys are bad. Cowboys are off to. I'm not breaking you any news here. Dallas Cowboys have been brutal. I think we're at a point now where most people, and Cowboy fans included, at 3-6 have discarded the Cowboys. They're done. There's nothing there. Their head coach believes it's an opportunity, and I guess you've got to do something to keep it together. Mike McCarthy is telling his players to view this season as an opportunity. Quote, Mike McCarthy, I'm never going to try to be somebody else. I think it's important for all of us to operate in that phase because we're all brought here for a reason. We've done good things together. There's a ton of work, and the only work we're really focused on is beating the Houston Texans. But this is a great opportunity for us. And I tell these guys repeatedly, just enjoy this. This is something you can really learn from for the rest of your life, end quote. All right. Is there a big comeback, you think, in Mike McCarthy's mind? Do you think he's looking at that locker room and saying, all right, we're good enough and we're gonna keep this thing together and Cooper Rush is going to lead us to great things? Or is this just about, hey, you got an opportunity? It sounds like a college coach, right?
Well,
saying, hey.
I'm okay with this because all people want to do is on Mike McCarthy.
No, I'm with you.
I know where you're getting at. Like, players don't listen to him and he stinks and this or that. Like, you all still have a job to do.
Yes.
In the back of your mind, bad teams know, all right, this probably isn't going our way, but you're still a competitor. Like, you still are practicing. You're showing up to play a Monday Night Football game, in this case, and you're still trying. And I know Mike McCarthy sees the writing on the wall and knows he doesn't have a contract next year, but he is still trying. He's still trying to present a message to a roster that even if they know, hey, without Dak Prescott, we were struggling with him, without him, man, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, you play to win the game. Like, that's legitimate still as an athlete, as a competitor.
I totally agree with you. I actually, it's kind of where I was going on the Mike McCarthy thing. How else do you want to do it? And one word you didn't use, would you say your competitors, and you used another word. One word that I'm going to throw in there is you're a professional. You got a damn job to do, right? And you've got an opportunity on Monday night to go out and win a football game and do something that nobody thinks you can do. Does it sound collegiate? Yeah, a little bit it does. Does it sound like, when New Mexico goes and plays at Auburn and you have an opportunity to do something great, or New Mexico State's going this weekend and playing at Texas A&M and we got a great opportunity? Yeah, it sounds like that a little bit. And once out of every 25 times, the opportunity comes to fruition and that underdog wins. Does it sound like that? Yeah, a little bit. But Mike McCarthy also has a job to do. He could mail it in. To your point, is he a lame duck? I think most people think so, and he might even feel that way. But he's got a job to do, man. He's getting paid. Those players have a job to do. You are watching the Dallas Cowboys, and you expect a football game. Like, you're going to tune in Monday night. Why? Because it's Monday Night Football. It's what you do on Monday night. And you expect professionals to play professional football. I don't necessarily have a problem. And comebacks start with one and then with two. Look, I'm going to sit here and tell you, I don't think the Cowboys have it, right? I've told you that from all summer. I don't think that roster is good enough to win. I don't. But they have to believe in that locker room. They don't give a damn what I say or you say or anybody else says. They've got to believe it, right? And so comebacks start with one and then two. You can't win five before you win one. So I don't have a problem with it. It's a guy that's got a job to do.
You do. You said you're a professional. You're still getting paid. Fans can see the team's not good. The players doing it in the back of the mind go, man, this is probably a lost season, but you're still showing up to work. You all have a job to do. And I don't have a problem with that messaging from Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Is help on the way? There's a stud running back who wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. Will that help? I mean, we see what Saquon's doing. Is there help on the way? It's the opening drive. Thanks for being with us on a Friday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Out with the Eagles in Washington last night, 26-18. Philadelphia beats the commander, Saquon Barkley. 26 carries, 146 yards, and a couple of touchdowns last night in the Eagles' victory. JJ, we were talking a little bit about the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy in this season. So, Ashton Genty's the best running back coming out of the draft, right?
Yeah, he's going to be probably the highest graded guy on the board.
I mean, I don't know where else. I got to believe Ashton Genty's going to be in New York for the Heisman finalist as well. Maybe I'm wrong, JJ. So if there's four guys, right? Ashton Genty, I know Jalen Milroe's getting a lot of love. Cam Ward, the quarterback at Miami, is getting a lot of love. The quarterback at Oregon's getting a lot. Who else? I mean, if they decide that they're not going with a group of five running back out of Boise State, which has happened, who edges him out? I mean, he's one of the right. He's going to be the fourth, don't you think? Or Travis Hunter. So
yeah,
do they go to five?
Genty, Hunter, Gabriel, Ward,
and Milroe's out.
And then I think Milroe could make it five
if they go to five.
And I think depending on what happens at the end of this season, that could flip Milroe and Ward just based on team performance at that point.
Yeah, because Miami just lost. It's hard to leave out the quarterback who's been so good to the number one team in the country, and that's Oregon. I don't know how on earth you could leave Ashton Jeanty out with what he's done. But again, I keep going back to the Marshall Faulk, Toretta thing years ago. And, I know it's a different day and there's different exposure. Those were days where you would never be able, if you were on the East Coast, you never were able to see Marshall Faulk play. You just saw these gaudy numbers. You had no idea. But I got to believe. Anyway, Ashton Jeanty's made it pretty clear where he wants to be as a pro. He's a Texas guy, and he wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. He said, quote, if I could script it, my family's all in Texas. I used to play in the Cowboys practice stadium, so family being there, all the connections, all the relationships, I feel like that would be just perfect city to play in. I don't know where the Cowboys are going to draft, JJ, but they're moving up the hill.
They'll be in Jeanty territory,
right? How high would you say he should go?
Well, it could be. Cowboys are going to have.
They're going to have a top 7 pick as we look right now.
And Jerry Jones isn't scared to take a running back. Took Ezekiel Elliott, 3? Is it 2 or 3 overall? Coming out of Ohio State, and if Jeanty is a Heisman contender, you see is one of the best running backs in college. All right, you've locked up Dak and CeeDee Lamb. You've seen a huge hole at the running back position. Jeanty could absolutely be a Dallas Cowboy.
Is he good enough to be drafted in the first round? And I say that not as a talent. I say that as where we are with running backs and all the other needs you have. You are small on the line. Your defense has been bad. You've got one wide receiver that's good. You don't have any more real good weapons there. You need a running back. You do. Is he somebody would take him at the back end of the first round? I firmly believe that if you don't take him. Is he that Saquon Barkley kind of a guy that you take at the top of the first round?
And that's the rub. I think Ashton Jeanty's good enough, he'll be a quality back. But when you're drafting in a top 10, young Zeke was scoring touchdowns like crazy.
Yeah,
I think Ezekiel is actually a really interesting comparison because never really thought Zeke had that extra gear, but he had big games, was good in the red zone. I think Ashton Jeanty is comparable to that because he doesn't have the gear that Barkley or Christian McCaffrey have to just take the top off of defense, but the physicality, the grind mentality, Jeanty has that.
It's going to be interesting. A guy that wants to be there, and this could be another one of those. I believe Ashton Jeanty is going to be really good in the NFL. I do. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I think he should be a good running back, yes.
I think he's going to be above average running back. I think he's going to be really good. I just watch him, and I judge him more, not only just what he's been doing in the Mountain West. He was great in the Oregon game, and I know I told you this. My brother and his kid goes to Oregon, so they're big Ducks, and was it week 2, 3, whatever it was? I said, dude, Boise State's running back's really good, and they're whatever. We got Boise State this week, and then we're gonna. I'm like, easy. And the next, they called me on Sunday. They're like, wow, that dude's really good. I'm like, yeah, I told you. Oregon's the number 1 team in the country, and Oregon beat Boise State by a last-second field goal. So I believe he's going to be. Is it ridiculous to say he's going to be in that Saquon Barkley kind of good, or is that just
I don't think
too much to ask?
That's like Barkley and McCaffrey, what they do in the passing game. I think Jeanty could catch some passes, but he doesn't have that explosiveness, and that would be the one question. And you brought it up; it's fair. It's all right, you put this guy in your offense, you're going to feel good, and I think it's more Ezekiel Elliott which was good early for the Cowboys, which would be an easy sell for Jerry and that team of saying, hey, you've paid this much into your quarterback and wide receiver, let's get a guy that we can lean on, rely on, be physical. But in terms of that level, I don't think he has that.
Who's the next level running back? Honestly, in the NFL right now, I look at it's Saquon, it's Derrick Henry, it's a healthy Christian McCaffrey. After that, who's the next best running back in the league? Is it Kyron Williams right now? Is it
you still? So I think where it's a good comparison, Bijan Robinson is.
Yeah, he feels more potential to me.
He's the 5th leading rusher in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
he catches passes out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs was a first-round back, and he's more explosive than Ashton Jeanty. And you still have your Alvin Kamara's of the world. That I think the biggest thing is the pass game. Because, I look at Jeanty, and if you say, all right, guys that have been drafted in the first round over the last few years, what are they doing? I would actually have more of that Najee Harris type running back.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Drafted in the first round.
That was late, right? Like 22nd, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Ish.
But, I think Jeanty will probably go much higher than that just based on
I do too.
His value coming out. But if you're asking me, like, the ceiling, like, that's kind of what I could see as a running back of that caliber. I don't know if he'll ever be explosive to where we're like, man, this guy's the best in the league. But, heck, man, we're watching Chuba Hubbard be the 3rd leading rusher in the NFL, right?
Fair.
So I think Jeanty could slot in and just be good, and that's what you're looking for.
Well, I look at guys who makes an impact. A healthy Josh Jacobs makes an impact. Joe Mixon has made an impact in Houston, where he's been with his new team. Obviously Derrick Henry's made a gigantic impact. When Jonathan Taylor's healthy, he makes an impact. So running back, as much as people love to devalue, and I say people, it's really at the NFL level, and they devalue it in regards to salary. I think we've watched this year, and you've made the point so many times, how valuable a good running back is to your offense and how essential it is.
Yeah, and even if you take him in the top 10, it's a larger contract. It's still a manageable rookie salary for a guy that is going to touch the football probably the second most times in most game plans other than your quarterback.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. I got reasons why people aren't going to Lobo game last night. You want to hear them? I don't think you do you? Probably not.
Oh, because we all have lives and schedules.
Yeah.
Sometimes things come up.
Yeah, but I'll get you what you're sending. Texts are coming in, 505-246-0610. Your emails come in, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. And on the X, it's _JJ Buck. When we come back, a little hoops for you as the Lobos get ready to play at St. John's. Do we compare scores around here? I know a lot of you do. Lobos beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi 2 nights ago. Aggies got them last night. You want to compare scores? Okay, we'll take a look at it. When we come back, it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore, just like riding a bicycle. I compare.
December 7. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Thank you for being with us on The Sports Animal. Lobos play the Aggies in basketball, men's basketball in the Pit, December 7th. On Tuesday of this week, New Mexico beat Texas A&M University Corpus Christi by a score of 100-81. Last night, that same Islanders team was down in Las Cruces, JJ, and the Aggies had a 21-point second-half lead, and that lead completely disappeared. And in fact, it was a 3-point game with 5 seconds to go, and Corpus Christi had a good open look at the top of the key for a 3 that fell off. It was put back at the buzzer. New Mexico State improves to 3-0 with an 83-82 victory over Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Deontay Bostic led the Aggies with 13 points off the bench. All right, compare the scores. Tell me what it means. Aggies were up on them by 21. The lead faded, and the final score is what the final score is. The score tells you not the whole story, but part of the story.
Yeah, for New Mexico State, it's a team that needs to learn how to finish, that you're still putting together a lot more new pieces for that program. Jason Newton's second season leading the way, and so that was my take. That game down the stretch is team trying to figure it out and avoid throwing away a double-digit lead of that big, because basketball is a game of runs, and they're going to have swings, and when you're a team that's still trying to figure out if you are any good, you can have a finish like that, like the Aggies had last night.
All right, 505-246-0610. Mud, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. Good morning, Mud.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just want to throw my 2 cents in there about the Lobo football fans. If they don't come out to this one, man, I don't know what they would come out to, man, because this is going to be one of the biggest games in Lobo since for a long time. I mean, number 19 Washington State for a chance to upset them in our stadium. I think we should pack it in, man. I wish that people would just jump on the bandwagon and just come to this game. You won't be disappointed. Bronco has this team on the edge, on the cusp of getting a bowl eligibility this season, his first season. So please, if you're looking to do something this weekend, come out. I'll be there. A lot of my friends will be there, family. I mean, it's just going to be a good game. Let's send the Lobos to a bowl this year, and let's pack the stadium.
Right on, Mud. Appreciate you. Senior night as well. It's not, senior night doesn't always mean what it meant, but it is the last home game as well. JJ, it's interesting. I don't know what to think. I'd like to believe there'll be more people there, but I got to believe it's going to look a lot like the last game. It's an opportunity. I know there's a really good team coming in here in Washington State. And Mike says, JJ walked in the garden and planted the seeds yesterday. He suggested what I think we'll be hearing tomorrow with a Lobo football win. A chant of overrated. Washington State's capable of cooking at any time. Yeah, they are. That wouldn't mean they're overrated. That would look. They're a good team. Are you a good team yet? I don't know. You could take a step towards being one tomorrow, right? You're not a bad team. How about that?
I think there's two different conversations that you can have. Like, I don't think that Washington State is that team nationally that is actually that close to the college football playoff, but in terms of going against New Mexico, they could drop 50 easy in a heartbeat against this Lobo defense, and that's probably what's going to happen, and that's why you're going to need the Lobo offense to not turn the football over and play at an unbelievable level for New Mexico to stay in this game.
Has the Lobo defense gotten better, or do you think it's a facade? They gave up 16 last week. 2 weeks prior at Colorado State, they gave up 17 points. Have they gotten better? Are they facing less caliber offenses?
I think the Colorado State game was a step forward. Last week it was a great game plan. But the uncertainty, if you're without 3 dudes in your secondary against a team that a quarterback that is comparable to Devin Dampier, as much as we talk up Dampier and how awesome he's been and the rushing and passing threat, like they have a better passing threat with the rushing ability.
Well, and they got really good. They got really good weapons on the outside too.
They have
super athletes. Yeah.
I am not expecting anything from the Lobo defense in this game.
They got really, really good athletes. And coming up, at 8 o'clock, we'll get into what Washington State's got and who they are. Jack's not going to the game. He wants to go, JJ. He wants to go really, really bad. But he also wants to plant himself on the couch Sunday. And that includes an early Lobo basketball post time. And he just has too much stuff to do Saturday, starting with gathering Thanksgiving supplies. He can't waste the day at University Stadium, in his words. I don't want to wait until next weekend when the stores will be zoos. It's from Jack. So Jack won't be there. So Mud, Jack won't be hanging out with you. I mean, okay. Dan says 36 hours until Juan Jose, Nedward, Abraham, James Jr., and no Hayden Armstrong. Jeffrey and Juan Jose, we can't wait for footy to get here. We Jones for that first pregame show with the terrific trio, now dynamic duo, all long hot summer. Then in a blink, it's gone. With another awkward bye week and a late non-televised game at Hawaii on the horizon tomorrow will be the season finale for so many OD Lobo fans. It won't be if they win. I'm just telling you, if they win this game and you've got a bowl game on the line against Hawaii, you'll find a way to watch it. I think. I mean, everybody will tell me they don't care, but I think people are going to care. I know I'll care. But you'll find a way to watch it, and I think you'll find a way to care. Look, this is I started this week off by telling you I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's not my game. But I think I did ask the question. I'll keep that open for you. Are you, if you're one of those people who were on the fence and said, give me something to go to, and I'll go when they're better. Are you going this weekend? Have you seen enough? Have they intrigued you enough? Or is it too late, too cold, too Saturday? I got whatever. Lobo basketball's early in the morning. I don't know. Roll over and hit the remote control and roll over in bed at 10 o'clock in the morning. right? I mean, what time are you and I going to get out of there? You're going to get out later than me, right? I mean, if it's a 7:30 game, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. I mean, what do I roll out about 11:30?
11:30.
Yeah, if we're lucky, we get out of there at 11:30, right? So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I think Mud's call was really good. This is in some respects not totally what you've been wanting, but I'll tell you, it's like the Cowboy thing. You can't have a 5-game winning streak until you win the first. In some respects, this is what you've been looking for. You've been asking for a relevant game in November. You've been asking to matter. Here's an opportunity to matter now. All right? If you knock off a ranked team, if you keep your opportunities, and I know there's a lot of ifs, and I know they're favored, and I know they're probably better than you. That doesn't mean you can't win this game. They can coog it. They coog it a lot. And by the way, you might just go out and beat them. Maybe. Here's a little sense of reality. Maybe you've gotten a lot better. Maybe what your eyes have been telling you, maybe it's true, or maybe not. We'll see. You get a good test this weekend. Get into what Washington State is, and you're calling at 505-246-0610. Really want to hear your phone calls. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Keep them coming. We'll do a 3-for-all coming up at 9:30 this morning. We got a sweet deal live today, JJ? We might. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
In New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Football Friday, you're going into a big weekend, but not just football. I mean, you get combat sports, you get hoopsketball. You got, I mean, what a weekend we're staring at. Glad you're starting it with us here on the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ, what a weekend between, I mean, we got two fights that completely different with different stakes, but I mean, with intrigue, the Tyson-Jake Paul fight is just so intriguing. And then to see John Jones get back in the ring against Stipe Miocic is something I think everybody certainly in the Burke wants to see, no?
Yeah, John Jones is a polarizing figure, and when you're talked about as one of the greatest pound-for-pound MMA fighters ever, you're going to want to watch that, and he continues his foray into the heavyweight division. Now the fact that he's trying to be the guy for the end of his career at that weight class, Stipe Miocic put in some really good fights, and this is one that it's a little bit later than you expected, but listening to people talk about the way Miocic has handled the training for this fight, where he's at, like, this doesn't feel like it's too late for it. Like, you think you're still going to get a very good heavyweight clash.
Yeah, no, that's Saturday night, Madison Square Garden, and so many. What a treat for like the New Mexico fan who is going into New York for the Lobo game. Many of them are going to see this fight in Madison Square Garden the night before. The way they turned that arena around, by the way, is just astonishing.
Yeah, that's a heck of a ticket if you can get it, for sure.
I think that's what Grammer's doing.
Well, when you can see a press pass guy.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I spoke to a class at UNM yesterday, and the professor said, "Yeah, I'm going to have you and Jeff Grammer sit on a panel." So I got there, and Grammer was there. Yeah, Grammer bailed. He had to go to New York, and I guess he's. I mean, is there some fight or something? Like, yeah, there's some fight or something.
Little stuff going on.
Yeah, there's some fight. So, yeah, he bailed, and it was just me, so no Grammer. All right, I want to get into this Washington State game and kind of give you an idea of what it is you're getting into, what you're going to see. I think your comparisons and everybody's comparisons on these quarterbacks is really it's right. It's on cue. And when you look at the numbers, it'll be even on cue more. All right. Washington State's quarterback is John Mateer, and he's terrific. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's fifth in the nation in total yards of offense per game. He's averaging 329.1. And I say the 0.1 because that's very important, and I'll tell you why. And that's fifth in the nation. He's not huge. He's 6'1", 219. He's got a good arm. He's thrown for over 2,300 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's run for 630 yards and 11 touchdowns, right? So I don't know where the transfer portal is, but supposedly, just like they did after Cam Ward, they're coming after him with big NIL money. There's supposedly already a 7-figure offer on the table for him. All right, so where does that put him in comparison with Devin Dampier, Lobo quarterback? I said 329.1 yards of total offense is what Mateer is averaging. And Devon's averaging 329 yards of total offense. I mean, literally a tenth of a yard shy of where Mateer is. He's a sophomore, passed for 11 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and he scored 13 touchdowns rushing. Whether he's got any sort of NIL, I don't know the answer to that. These are two dynamic quarterbacks. I know this will not get the attention that some other games around the country will, and I understand why, and I'm not telling you it should. But this is a damn good quarterback matchup you got tomorrow night out at University Stadium.
Oh, no question about it. Some of the best quarterbacks out west, maybe two of the best. Out Dylan Gabriel, I get it. But dual threat
really
guys that account for some of the highest yardage totals in the entire country of total offense are going at it. And this is, for the Lobos, what Devin Dampier has done all season long for this team, and what he'll need to do again is the challenge is for the sophomores, he has to pretty much be perfect. Because this is going to be one where you have to match what the Washington State offense is going to do. And if there's a guy to do it, it's Devin Dampier.
All right, let's hit the phones. 505-246-0610. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow night. I'm going to go watch little women's basketball tonight, check up on the Lady Lobos, see how they're doing. But, if you look, the number six team in the country in total offense is guess who?
Mm-hmm.
So, UNM. If this turns into a shootout, and I think it has the potential to do that, who knows? Two really good quarterbacks, two dual threat quarterbacks. Let's see who can make some big plays on defense. I'm really hoping last week was a sign for this week, and that Lobos play with that same reckless abandon. Of course, you can get burned pretty good by this Mater kid. He's really good. And, this is what you want as a fan. This is what you play for all season, to have a game like this that actually means something. If we get by Washington State, it'll be as big a win as you've had in how many years do you think, Jeff? 20?
Yeah, I don't know. What would be the last comparable win if you were able to pull this off? What would the last one be?
Well, I'm thinking in '97 when UNM beat BYU to be the conference champions. And it's funny. I was reminiscing with Brian Urlacher, and he had forgotten about that one play that he made. I called it his coming out party, when he just runs down Faradick and it looks like he's shot from a cannon on a third down play. And I texted it to him and showed it to him, and he goes, "Wow, I forgot that play." Of course, he's had a few plays.
He's had a few
time to remember, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's got to be that. It's probably got to be that. That was a game that meant something, that got us the championship. Maybe 2015 when we went up there and beat Boise State, but at home.
Yeah, but that didn't mean as much, right? I mean
It was just a great upset. This means something. This means that you're 5-5, 5-6 going into the last game of the season.
4-3 in league.
Putting the pressure on Jeff Symbieta to invite him to the New Mexico Bowl if they get to 6-6. So you might get some pressure this weekend after they win, Jeff. We'll see.
Not a lot of pressure. That's not. I mean, I've had more pressure than that. You know that.
I know. Hey, man, have a great weekend. We'll see you out there. We'll see everybody out there. And just bundle up and go Lobos.
Yep. See you, Rudy. Rudy called at 505-246-0610. It's opportunity, guys. And again, I don't know, where your appetite is, what is going to get you over the hump. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you got to be. I'm not. I thought Bronco Mendenhall made, and it's been a promo that's been running, that he said whenever it is you jump on the bandwagon, there's room for you. That you'll find out Lobo football is for you whenever it is, or maybe it'll be never. Maybe it's not your thing. But if you're one of those people who are saying, give me something to watch, give me something to get excited about, is this enough for you? You got a ranked team coming in, and you still have an opportunity to do something in the season. Is it enough? Or are you just going to watch the NFL? Mike, I know you want to talk about the NFL. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Mike. How you living?
Hey, what's up, guys? I was that guy. I'm moved here in 2017. Never been a big Lobo fan my whole life. And this was me. I was saying, hey, you know what? Man, give me something to cheer about. Give me something to be excited about, man. I got tickets. taking my daughter and some friends. We're going tomorrow night. We're going to bundle up. We are going to check it out. I can't wait. And just on the side note for what Rudy was saying, Kennedy Urlacher is Brian Urlacher's son.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen that. He plays for Notre Dame.
Yep.
Plays strong safety for Notre Dame, and he's a freshman. But in the last couple big blowout wins that they've had, he's got to come in at the end, and this dude is a wrecking ball.
Yep.
Really, really excited to see him in the future. You probably knew that. But for my take on the game last night, man, just for me, Saquon Barkley is my MVP for this season. And, you know, I know it's basically a quarterback award. And you say, well, Derrick Henry's leading the league in rushing. Nobody has meant more to a team, in my opinion, than Saquon Barkley. DeAndre Swift was great last year, but when the Eagles came in, it was like, okay, you got to worry about Jalen. You got to worry about A.J. Brown, you know, whatever happens. Now you got to worry about Saquon Barkley. He's running, in my opinion, faster than I've ever seen him run. Dang, breaking tackles, making incredible moves. I mean, he's having an absolute, like a running back season that I feel like I haven't seen since Barry Sanders. Thanks for taking my call, guys. Have a great Friday.
Thanks, Mike. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if Saquon Barkley's in the MVP conversation, you got a problem with that?
No, he should be, because there's not a bunch of quarterbacks running away from it. You want to credit guys that are winning. Jared Goff's not an NFL MVP. Jaden Daniels, there was some push there, but he's not better than Jalen Hurts. So I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. The quarterback on the undefeated team, might be the best quarterback in the league. He's not an MVP right now.
Not right now. Not this year in this league, right?
I think Derrick Henry deserves discussion with Lamar Jackson. Saquon Barkley, because of the total yardage that he's putting up, and you know how he's took a good offense and made it great again to a level of, you realize, it's the Eagles right there with Detroit in the NFC.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all, actually. And I'd almost welcome a non-quarterback winning the MVP. All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. You can get in on the fights this weekend. I got a couple texts on the fight. Aggie fan, you beat Corpus Christi last night. Basketball, you're still undefeated. Mike Tyson slapped Jake Paul in the face during their stare down. How'd you like that? We got a big NFL weekend to go. 505-246-0610. Kind of an open Friday for you, wherever it is you want to go. Hey, busy times, right? It always is. Holiday time. You're running. Families coming. They're in for the holidays. Make sure your car is clean and fresh and welcoming for people. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I love when On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes out and details my car. And I said to you, come out to me. I don't know where they are. They know where my office is. They come out and they detail the vehicle. They got a mobile unit. And when they're done, your car, your truck, your vehicle looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot, like it's brand new. You can have that new car feel without having to get a new car. They were awarded best in the city because they're best in the city. They take the time, they take the care to make your car feel like new. The best part is that they come to you. There's no need to leave the comfort of your home or your office, and your car will look and feel and smell like it's brand new. You can get that feel just by calling On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Ask them about a fresh coat of wax, paint protection film, tinted windows, all of that, and they are the best in the city. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, you can book and buy online, and it is a great gift. You're looking for that cool gift idea, the idea that someone will love but may not get for themselves? On the Spot Automotive Detailing. It's all online, otsdetailing.com, otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone.
Big weekend, big show. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Last night, Eagles beat Washington, the Commanders, 26-18. I told you earlier I thought this was a statement game for the Eagles, with all the talk about the young Bucks coming up and ready to win. Yeah, they're good, and I think their playoff team is Washington. But Philadelphia, and I heard this said yesterday, JJ, and I think we kind of thought this going into the season, but there was that doubt a little bit because the way they ended the year. Who's got a better overall roster, top to bottom, offense, defense, lines, backs, weapons, than the Philadelphia Eagles in the National Football League?
The roster-wise, it's the Detroit Lions, a team that if they get enough pieces back and still be there is San Francisco. But just in terms of not just who they are now, but combined with the experience, what they've done, Detroit and Philadelphia are a tier above everyone else in the NFC. We lost you there, Jeff. You still with us? Can't hear you. It says you're connected.
Is that still there?
Yeah.
All right. Put them on the field right now. Who you like? You like Detroit? You like Philadelphia? Right? It's good, and I'm glad it's that way. It's supposed to be that way. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
And we'll see what San Francisco does coming down the stretch as they get healthy. We'll see if they really are that. I think it's a big month and a half for Brock Purdy, right? Because he's going to get paid at the end of this season. How much is he going to get paid is going to be really interesting. But I think it's a big, big, big run. Hey, when I hit this, I was just telling you about quarterbacks and NIL money. And then I know we got to do a sweet deal here in a bit. But we heard John Mateer, JJ, with the quarterback at Washington State, has been offered a whole lot of money. There's a story, and I told you Michigan's looking for a quarterback, and Michigan has a lot of money. Michigan alums have a lot of money. I told you the story when I was back in Michigan, and the guy who said, was watching over my shoulder and watching Devin Dampier. He's like, man, we should buy that guy. There's a story that there's a 5-star high school quarterback named Bryce Underwood, and he has an NIL offer of about $10.5 million over 4 years to go to Michigan. Isn't that crazy? And again, the money's not going down. The Wolverine is the publication that put this out. E.J. Holland writes that. He says that number was confirmed by a source a couple of days ago. Obviously, Michigan signed a deal with Passes this week. Passes is not heading up the Underwood charge, but it's contributing to the push and wants to help with recruiting overall. It's important to note, however, that Passes, it's a group, has worked with LSU in the past. Its first deal was with LSU gymnast Livy Dunn. Those around LSU continue to remain confident that Underwood, that quarterback, will sign with LSU in a few weeks. The quarterback was at LSU for official visit over the weekend and had a terrific time in Baton Rouge. Who doesn't? LSU's NIL number hasn't gone public. So going rate now, JJ, for a quarterback, at least a 5-star quarterback, a top-end quarterback, is, according to this,
guaranteed signing bonus now.
$10.5 million for 4 years. Yeah. It ain't going down, boys and girls. It's where it is.
That's crazy,
right?
The number's there, but then are you signing that, and as part of that, say I'm here for 4 years regardless? What if
I believe that's right, but
what if he doesn't start for a year or two?
And how binding is it, right? How I don't and this is where Kurt's gonna have to come in and help us with the NIL stuff. I don't know exactly. All right, I've got a sweet deal for you, and this is one of our most popular sweet deals, and I know you're going to take advantage of this. You go to our website, sportsanimалabq.com. You go there at 9 o'clock, click on the sweet deal icon, and for just $25, you get $50 to spend at Tomasita, serving traditional New Mexican cuisine for 50 years. Because they don't mess with the chili. Happy hour in the bar, Monday through Thursday from 11 a to 6 p. Quick and convenient lunches every single weekday. George is on the line to talk to us about the goodness that is Tomasitas. Good morning, George. How you living?
Good morning. I'm loving it, baby.
Yeah, you are. Your place is killing it. So I had my boss in town from Charlotte, and he wanted New Mexican food. We took him over to your spot. This was about 2 weeks ago. Loved it, man. It never disappoints. Yeah, no, it's killing it. What's going on? What do people need to know about Tomasitas?
People need to know that it's getting cold. Christmas is coming, and nothing's better than the red and the green chili. We also have a ton of space for your office parties. If you're listening at work and you want to come in with 20 of your best friends and the boss is paying, just give us a call, and we will set you up.
Yeah, nothing better when the boss is paying. And by the way, the boss paid for this one. You're the I-25 and Jefferson location in Albuquerque, right in front of Century Rio 24. Open for lunch every day, open for dinner every day. They've got the bar is open. The margaritas are great. The beer is cold. And do you have a favorite dish, or is it like a mood thing for you?
You know what? My go-to is the roast beef burrito.
No doubt.
Simple. We make the flour tortilla from scratch. We make the roast beef. We slice it. And I always go Christmas on that one.
That sounds so damn good. All right. Yeah, no, it sounds good. All right, our sweet deal. For $25, you get $50 to spend at Tomasitas, one of your favorite, if not your favorite, probably is your favorite, New Mexican restaurant in both Albuquerque and in Santa Fe. This is the location in Albuquerque, I-25 in Jefferson. It is your sweet deal. go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com at 9 o'clock. Click on the Sweet Deal logo and go there every day. Make it part of your lunch routine. Make it part of your dinner rotation. As you, hey, where are we going for lunch? Meet you at Tomasitas. It never, ever fails, and everybody's thrilled. George, have a great weekend. Appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thank you so much. You too.
Be well. That's Tomasitas. That is your Sweet Deal. I did take the boss there, dude. He's stoked.
Good stuff.
Yeah, he had a little Christmas on it as well. All right, when we get back, 505-246-0610. Continue to take your phone calls. Got some NFL injury stuff. The wrist injury for Tyreek Hill, is that going to sideline him? Let you know the latest on that. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, me and my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been.
Go wrist injuries, dude, for receivers, and you know, JJ, every time you do anything, right? It's the wrist. I got a little wrist pain right now, and I'm not a receiver, but every time you open a door or do anything, you feel it. That's a nagging one that gets you all the time.
That's concerning to the point where they've actually discussed needing a procedure on it. And with Miami, it was just, Tua was out. That's why they haven't been explosive. Well, even early on, and then last week, you haven't seen Tyreek Hill be that guy or be a focal point and be able to take the top off a team. And when Miami is just trying to find anything now with Tua back in the offense, that is definitely a concerning one for, as you mentioned, one of the guys that you probably took top 5 in your fantasy football draft.
Yeah, the top of the draft, man. I'm just telling you, everybody's been hurt, whether it was Christian McCaffrey or Puka Nacua or Tyreek Hill or, the top of your fantasy draft, man. I hope you had a good deep draft, because otherwise you're having a rough season, right? The very, and you didn't take McCaffrey. You had the number 1 pick. Who'd you take?
Took Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, it worked out okay, right?
If you are able to survive, McCaffrey is going to give you the value. But it was just about surviving the first 9-10 weeks without him.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what kind of value he's going to give you. I believe that to be true, but let's see.
He's going to come in a like low key game is 16 PPR points.
Yeah, I just need to see. I need to know that he's going to be durable. And if it was one Achilles, it was both Achilles he had tendonitis in. Like that's concerning, but we'll see. All right, hey, I want to hit this. So the game last night, Eagles and Commanders, 26-18 was the final. And there was a point late in the game. There were 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. It was 12-10. Philadelphia was on top. Isn't that crazy? 8 minutes ago was 12-10. The game ended up 26-18. But that's not the point. Jake Elliott had just missed an extra point, and they were ready to go. Or it was 12-10. So Washington's got the ball, and it was 4th and 2 at the Philadelphia 26-yard line. So a 43-yard field goal with a kicker who's been really good. Dan Quinn did not opt for the field goal, which would have given him the lead. Instead, he kept his offense on the field. They had a botched snap. Jaden Daniels ran to the right, got hit hard, out of bounds, barely had a grip on the football. And I don't want to say ball game right there, but kind of ball game right there, right? Because then Saquon Barkley ripped off a 23-yard touchdown. Then Jaden Daniels threw an interception, another touchdown by Barkley, and it was check, please. Thanks for coming. Dan Quinn defended the decision by calling it a bold call. Quote Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Washington Commanders. Bold call, but I would also say we were prepared for that moment. Don't love the execution, but we've been an excellent fourth down team. So going into it, we knew we'd have to take our shots against a tough division team on the road. We thought that was an appropriate one. Certainly don't like the execution, the result, but we were prepared for that, and being bold in those moments, knowing that we'd have some fourth downs, that's when we can fix. No, you can't, dude. Game's over. You can't fix it. I think we were all sitting there just going, why would you not take the lead right there?
Yeah, what's tougher about that one is it wasn't you're trailing and you need a touchdown. It wasn't, hey, we have an edge, so we're going to try to go for a potential game-deciding type of drive. It hasn't been great. You're hanging on. It's a chance to go up by 1 point, and then it doesn't matter what Philadelphia does. You can still either take the lead with another field goal or be in the game with a touchdown. And so that's what decides it for me at that point is keep yourself in the game, because you're down 2, they score a touchdown, now it's a 2-possession game, as opposed to kicking a field goal, keeping a 1-possession game, going back and forth. Like, that was a giant momentum swing that it didn't feel like the reward was high enough for the risk to not keep it a 1-possession game.
Terry McLaurin's their star receiver, and he was asked about it after the game. And again, Terry McLaurin, who's been really, really good, who's been maybe the biggest benefactor of having Jaden Daniels there. 2 targets yesterday, 1 catch for 10 yards for Terry McLaurin. He was good with. He said, we've been doing it all season. We're aggressive. So he didn't throw his coach under the bus and in a frustration moment, which I think is good, and it shows the teams together. Look, I think that team is on the right path. Okay, I think that team is headed in the right direction. I don't think there's anybody who could disagree with that. Was last night a setback? I don't know. I mean, last night they didn't take that next step. I don't know that I'm going to sit here and call it a huge setback for them, because they're playing a team I do believe that is better than them, that is further along than them, that has a better roster overall than them, and executed better last night, even though their kicker missed 3 freaking kicks last night. But I look at it in the moment, and look, this is one of those things. This is why partially why head coaches make so much money, because they get all the scrutiny. If it works, it's what a ballsy call, what a gutsy call, what a bull, right? They went for it, but sometimes I don't know, man. Take the points and take the lead.
Well,
8 minutes to go.
You're in an area where, all right, you convert, but they could still easily hold you to a field goal.
Correct.
With the way the game was going, you weren't creating those explosive plays. It would have still been a decent field goal attempt in that game. But to me, I look at it from that exact moment. It's not just taking lead, but it's keeping it a 1-score game, because you don't convert. They come down, score a touchdown, and then all of a sudden you're back in a 2-possession game. and it just didn't feel like the reward was big enough in that moment
I
for
agree.
going for it on fourth down, as opposed to just trying to keep it a one possession game in a game that the Commanders never felt good, but yet you're still right there, and you had the early lead, and there were mistakes from the Philadelphia special teams. So stay in the game, and to your point on the Commanders, yeah, they're not at that level, and I think I like how Jaden Daniels handled it too after the game, just discussing that it's adversity. We're a young team. We're going to keep pushing forward, because he's been a little limited with the ribs, but he's also played two good defenses that forced him and Cliff Kingsbury to analyze how do you adjust in games. And he hasn't been as explosive running the football because of that. They took away the explosiveness. It was check down city to Austin Eckler. Now this for him in Kingsbury, this is a good step of right. This is 2 weeks against good defenses that made us change the game plan. So how can we create against these guys moving forward?
Yeah, all that's fair. But I'm going to go back to what you said something earlier. You talked about the way the game was going. Dude, it was, what was it, 12-10? Is that the number, right? With 8 minutes to go? Nobody was scoring. I understand it ended up 26-18, which is right near the total, by the way. But they're not scoring. They're not at that point in the game. Let me go up by a point, man. Let me go up by a point, because nobody's scoring, and that might be it. That one was one that made you scratch your head. I like Dan Quinn. I like what he's doing with that team, and it's hard to argue the progress that they've shown. But that's one of those where, you got to defend that one. Boy. And in the moment, I think we were all saying the same thing. How do you not take the lead? How do you not? I mean, it's a tough one right there. All right, 505-246-0610. Got some emails on Lobo football tomorrow. Are you going out there? What are you doing? Is that part of what you're doing? The sun's in my eyes. It's the stadium. What are we doing? There's one team that's got plans to deal with the sun in your eyes. Well, when did this all of a sudden become an issue? Well, it was last week with the Cowboys, and now another team is dealing with it with their new stadium. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by eBay.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
to pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
Big weekend coming up. You're saying a lot about it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Thank you for spending some time with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You got the fight tonight, the fight tomorrow, the football game tomorrow, the fight on, I already said the fight tomorrow, the big basketball game on Sunday, Lobos in St. John's. You got so much to do. Got a text from Chris, JJ. This came in at 505-246-0610. It says, morning, Jeff. Talking about Tyson and Jake Paul. It says, late 20s versus late 50s, almost 60. I hope the script reads, punch and move, don't hurt Mike. Paul wins. That said, it's Iron Mike Tyson, and I hope he has one good uppercut left that puts this annoying boy on the floor. I'm a-watching. It's from Chris. I think that, again, people, and maybe this is a generational thing. I know people that remember Mike fighting, who remember what Mike was, are having a hard time believing somebody's going to kick Mike's ass, even though he's 58, and are rooting for Mike, right? Do you have a rooting interest? I know you think Jake's going to win the fight. Do you have a rooting interest?
I don't have a rooting interest in this. I'm not one that is totally annoyed and I need to see that influencer get knocked out. That's a part of it. It's, of course, the generational pull. This is why you go after Mike Tyson, even at 58 years old.
No doubt.
Because you're going to get a different segment of people interested in this fight than you would the other guys that Paul has fought before this.
All right, I got this on Lobo football. Lobo football tomorrow against Washington State out at University Stadium. 21st ranked Cougs come in. They just have one loss, a fantastic offense, and actually, what's underrated is their defense, which is top 22. Nobody's talking about that. This is from Larry. He says, Hefe, I'm right there with you on never telling anyone how to be a fan. I'll say if someone is a fan of live sports, and tomorrow's Lobo game is well worth the time and money. This is the most explosive and exciting offense since 2016 squad that went bowling. The promo with Coach welcoming adopters at any point is perfect. I've been on board since his hire, and seeing the team progress this season is me believing even more that he's the guy to lead our Lobos. It's a process and doesn't happen overnight, but man, what strides they've made in 1 year. It's been a while since we've had late season games with a bowl eligibility on the line, and we've been kicked in the stick enough over the years, so I think we are due to do the kicking. It's from Larry. It's good. It's good. Look, I think there's some Lobo fans, and I hope you don't come out of this, if they don't win this game, beat up and giving up. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity against a really good team. I'm not ready to sit here and say they will win, but I'm not ready to sit here and say they absolutely cannot win. This is an uphill climb. This is a tough task. This is an opportunity. But, JJ, when we looked at this game 3-4 weeks ago, we're like, damn, there's not a chance, right? Now I think you and I both believe there's a chance in a shootout that maybe they can outscore this team, right?
Yes, and that's what Devin Dampier has done and what this offense has shown you this season. They're the reason you tune in. They're the reason the Lobos have a chance in these games. Yes, there's been a couple moments. You look at Colorado State, San Diego State, where the defense was good. The defense did what they have to do. That's not going to be the case tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's got for the Lobos to be successful. This has to be the best game Devin Dampier has played all year.
That means don't turn the ball over, right?
Can't turn the football over. Has to find some explosive plays. He has to be efficient in the pass game. This has to be a moment you look at and say, this is the reason you believe this team has a chance because of the way that guy's playing.
Yeah, I think that's right. And you just got to protect the football, be smart with it, and just be careful, right? And then hope the defense can come up with some stops, some turnovers, something that's going to give you, and then take advantage of it. When you've got short fields, when you've got opportunities, when you get in the red zone, capitalize And then who else steps up tomorrow for Lobo football? I mean, who's going to make plays for Devin Dampier? Is Luke Wysong healthy enough to be Luke Wysong again? You've been getting a lot of Ryan Davis lately. Look, Eli Sanders has been terrific. What does he look like against and JJ, again, I'll say this. The Washington State defense doesn't get the credit because John Mateer's been so terrific, but you look at what they're doing statistically in their top 20 defense also. They're a really, really good football team. Probably the best one that they played.
Yeah, they've been controlling the teams that you play. Right? They're essentially a de facto Mountain West team, so when you look at the offense and defense, it's been coming against teams that the Lobos have played, and we have seen how those games have played out throughout the season.
Yeah. All right, you can get in on it, 505-246-0610. I'll ask the question. I've been asking it all week. But is this one that you're in? Are you going to the game? Is it, if you've been that person who's been on the fence, give me something to get excited about. No, I want to go out and watch Lobo football, but they're not that good. They haven't given me a reason. Have they given you enough reason now? Is this something that's exciting enough for you to say, you know what? I'm getting off the couch on Saturday night, and I'm going to put on a couple layers and by the way, it won't be that damn cold. But we're going to put on a layer or two, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to watch it. What's the weather? Let me get you the NOAA.gov, right? Because that's to me the most reliable one. 87106 is the zip code down there for tomorrow night, and it's going to be another beautiful weekend. The weather's been terrific. Tomorrow afternoon, gorgeous. Saturday, sunshine, 58 for high. The low's 35, and it's not going to get to that until the middle of the night. It's going to be in the 40s. Put on a jacket, maybe a beanie, some gloves. Have fun if you like some football. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. Pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
to pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Friday going into a special weekend, and they've all been special, right? We've had some really, really fun stuff going on over the past few weeks, and could Lobo fan have another really good one? You deserve it. Let's see what happens as we go. Lobo football tomorrow night at home. They get the 21st ranked team in the country, Washington State, in town. Then Sunday, Lobo football, Lobo basketball, they'll be in New York City in Madison Square Garden against St. John's. Tonight it all starts off, JJ. You got Lobo women's basketball here on the Sports Animal. New Mexico and Western New Mexico, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip. JJ Buck will crack the mic from Radio Row at the Pit. A good opportunity, JJ, for the Lobo women tonight to get that taste of the Texas Tech 5 minutes of not great basketball. They played really well against Texas Tech on the road this week, didn't they?
They did, and it's, the second quarter they had 10 turnovers, and there was a moment where the game flipped back into the advantage for Tech. They led 23-18 after the first quarter, and then there was an early 8-0 run combined with the 10 turnovers, so they lost the second quarter 19-11, and then just kind of were just trailing the rest of the way, never were able to put 2 or 3 offensive possessions together where they could retake the lead and then build off that. They had a moment where they're up 46-45 in the second half, but it was one where you don't want to have this, and this team's been looking for that signature non-conference victory for a little while, and they felt like they absolutely could have done that against Texas Tech. So I'm excited about this team. I think they do have a high offensive ceiling. You look at someone like Destiny Hooks, who averaged 21 points per game at JUCO last year, and already 2 of the 3 Division I games she's played, she has 21 and 28 points. And she's a perimeter player averaging 54% shooting because she has that old school game. And I'm thinking of how do I describe it? It's like the Paul Pierce level game. If she uses her size, she gets to the rim. She's really good in the mid-range. So there's a lot to be excited about. And now you got Western New Mexico D2 opponent, South Carolina State on Wednesday. This is get confidence, play consistent for 4 quarters, and then take your shot against Gonzaga. And this is a non-conference schedule. You looked at it and you're like, okay, this is pretty good. This is a lot better than I thought. Because I'm deep into my prep already for the rest of the season. You got UC Irvine coming up. They won the Big West last year. You got North Texas coming up. They're one of the preseason favorites to win their league. And all of a sudden, there's some really good opportunities at home for this team ahead in some really tough games. So use these games to get confident, feel good about yourself against opponents that you should beat, and get set up for what's going to be a really fun home schedule.
Yep. All right, so that's tonight out at the Pit, and JJ will have the call here for you on the Sports Animal. You guys are in quite a bit on the game, both games this weekend. This is from somebody. Gopher. It says 10-0 Montana State or 8-1 Washington State. Which is the best club at University Stadium this year, Jeff? Is it Montana State or Washington State? And then he said, man, I haven't thought about this. JJ, he says, P.S., is this the final time we ever see a Power 5 team in the 505? There's no reason for Lobo football to play them here in front of 15,000 when they can go to their gym for $1.5 million. We may get somebody in here for a bowl game, but is this the last time? And I don't know if you can still consider Washington State a Power 5 team. They're probably not, actually, although they still have Power 5 resources that they've recruited off of. But is this the first or the last team like this that you get in your stadium?
On your non-conference schedule?
Well, but that's what's
likely.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it in that way. Lobo Hobo says 72, which is the point total in this game, if you want to go over or under. 72 feels light, Jeffy. Talking to Washington State fans, the Cougs are looking to score that many runs themselves. Yeah, no, they think they're going to – look, I've got a good buddy, big Cougar fan. I talked to him the other day. And, yeah, they feel really good that they're gonna put up a big number and that this is just another little whatever, right? We'll see. Les really wants to go to the game, JJ. He says, really want to go to watch Lobo basketball, Jeffy Lou, but I got an appointment across town at noon. It's impossible to reschedule at this point. Why is Lobo basketball playing Sunday in the morning? Ever try to get to Madison Square Garden at that time? The gym's going to be empty. JJ, why are they playing Madison Square Garden at 10 o'clock or noon New York time? Les can't make it. There'll be a few people there. It won't be packed. Madison Square Garden's a big arena, 20-plus thousand. There's probably about 700 Lobo fans that are going to go. They'll have a decent crowd. Why? TV's got a slot for them, and they're going to go play. That's why. Lobo Hobo also said, where the heck are you now? He watches every time I'm somewhere, I'm on the road, JJ, he watches the feed. He's like, where are you now? I'm on the road, man. I'm on the road. That's it. What are you expecting out of Anthony Richardson, a quarterback this week? Joe Flacco's benched. Anthony Richardson, is it a handoff game plan? The Colts are back at it. They play the Jets. Interesting spot for them. They're still probably, well, not probably, they are in contention and could be a playoff team. What do you expect from him? Is it just more the same, more growth, a turnover here, but a big play here? What do you expect
Any
out of
growth would be good at this point for Anthony Richardson. I think it's going to be a limited game plan. Maximize your strength, get him outside the pocket, lean on Jonathan Taylor, take your shot plays downfield, because that's where you feel you could have the most effect, getting Alec Pierce or Michael Pittman downfield. Pierce can take the top off. And then design a couple one-read plays for him where, all right, try to get Josh Downs here. Over the middle, short, get him going. But it's going to be limited pass attempts, not expecting a high completion percentage. And that's where you're at right now with Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson, who was a top 5 pick just a year ago, was benched a few weeks ago for Joe Flacco after Anthony Richardson tapped out of a game. He was tired. He said, quote, I think these 2 weeks have definitely opened my eyes and allowed me to take a deeper dive and look into myself and see what I'm made of. So I'm thankful for these past 2 weeks, and I'm low-key thankful it happened. As a competitor, you never want to be on the sideline when you think there's an opportunity to go out there and help the team. But sitting on the sideline just allowed me to just look and see certain things I could correct about myself, certain things that the team needed help with, and I'm just forever grateful for the opportunity. I'm glad Shane felt like I'm the guy again. I'm just forever grateful, and I'm just thankful, end quote. He said the right things. I'll give him that. He said the right things. Now let's see if he can learn from it. Let's see if he gets better. He's 22 years old. He hasn't played a lot of football. But I appreciate where he was. Look, nobody wants to get benched. You're the guy, and you bring in the old guy, and look, I almost think this was a punishment as much as a benching. I almost felt like this was a discipline as much as it was a benching. I felt like, dude, you're an NFL quarterback. You don't tap your helmet and come out of a game on third down. I don't got a guy ready to go. I got to go find my backup to put down the clipboard and put on his helmet to come into a game. Like you're not a wide receiver and there's another guy ready to jump in the game. I almost felt like this was like a punishment or a discipline as opposed to just, hey, we're going to go make our team better.
It wasn't, but that would have been the wrong thing to do if it was. Like you can make him run honestly as a quarterback and be like, you know what, you don't have to usually do this run or stand up there and talk to the team. You don't bench a quarterback for 2 games because of that.
But I felt like that's what it was, and I whether it was right or wrong.
Not what it was. If you say that Joe Flacco's starting on Monday, and then Wednesday of this week go back to Anthony Richardson.
So that that obviously came from somewhere else. I mean, that obviously did. When your head coach goes out on a Monday and says Joe Flacco's starting the rest of the season, and then on Wednesday says, no, the other guy's starting the rest of the season, that was obviously a conversation with someone upstairs who said, hey, we didn't draft this damn kid to sit him on the bench and play some 39-year-old guy who's going 1-3.
Yeah, who's 0-2, throwing interceptions. Like, this is getting us nowhere, and you have to go back to Anthony Richardson now. And I was one of those people that said you have to think about it. Like, how do you reset? How do you look at a quarterback that before the benching, even with the tapping out, there was back-to-back games, he completed 10 passes.
Yeah.
And
he was bad, dude.
It was just bad football. So how do you reset in that moment? Now, maybe it wasn't a perfect plan in season. With, as you said, it seems that there was more going on from outside the coaching staff to have that kind of change in there. But now you have to wrap your mind around the rest of the season. If Anthony Richardson is healthy, you got to figure out a way to get confidence out of this guy, out of this offense.
Yeah. All right, I wanted to hit this this Stadium Sun issue. I for crying out loud, have you ever, before last week, like there's baseball, you've seen balls get lost in the sun. Can you recall an instance where an NFL guy dropped the ball and claimed that the sun was in his eyes?
I've seen it, yes. But
okay.
Not to the magnitude of, like, it happened a couple weeks ago with in the Baltimore Cleveland game, like Zay Flowers wide open, just hit him in the face. You're like, what happened? He just happened to be looking in the sun at that moment, but not directly tied to, hey, we can make sure this doesn't happen every week.
So that was at the Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, where the sun was coming through the glass and the way the stadium was constructed. And Jerry Jones has been reticent about putting up any blackout shades or anything. He's not going to do that. The Titans are building a new stadium. I don't even think I knew they were building a new stadium. But it's $2 billion plus, and it's going to be called the new Nissan Stadium, adjacent to their current place. And odds are the sun's going to continue to set in the west, and odds are they're going to play a game where the sun may come in. And so they're working on this, and basically they said, look, man, we're building this where we've got the accordion shades, and we're going to have, like, they're thinking about it. Just because Jerry Jones wouldn't do it, we're doing it. He says, my biggest thought when we were building it was, don't have it look like it's not outdoors, make it look outdoors. The stadium was built to feel like outdoors when you're indoors, and it was built to have sunlight. But they're going to put up these shades, which I don't know, man. It's funny when things start getting momentum, how people start talking about it, and because this stadium's going to have a northwest-southeast orientation. If you look at outdoor stadiums, JJ, every stadium you go to runs north-south. That's how football stadiums run, right? And the cameras are always on the west side shooting east because sun sets. I want you to think of how you were watching New Mexico United games in the past. Remember the first bunch of years they had a scissor lift set up on the east side of the stadium, and it shot to the west because I know that the United people wanted to have a crowd in the background, not just that empty side, but it looked horrible because the sun set in the west and it was shining in the camera. I mean, it sounds so simple, but that's how stadiums are set up. This thought. If you look at baseball stadiums, they're almost all set up in the same configuration, trying to minimize the effects of the sun in people's eyes. The majority of them are night games, or at least late summer evening games. The sun sets in the west, and so you don't want the sun in the batter's eye, but it'll be in the right fielder's eye. Almost always in the right fielder's eye and the first baseman's eye. Right? It's just how it is. This one's a little different, but it's kind of crazy to me that this is all of a sudden a deal, and we're building these $2 billion stadiums, and our biggest concern is blackout shades for the sun, so it's not in a receiver's eye, but it is. All right, keep them coming at 505-246-0610. Who do you like on Sunday? We've talked a bit about who you like in the Lobo football game. Who you like Lobos and St. John's? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Who are you guys? Well, sir, I'm going to...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
to just what St. John's has done. And St. John's is going to get tougher as they go on. They've got a bunch of games coming up. But, JJ, I think it's a really interesting one. I don't know by the time it's all said and done who will be better, whether it's going to be UCLA or it's going to be St. John's. Maybe it'll be St. John's. But St. John's won last night. They beat Wagner in their return to the national rankings. They're 22nd in the nation. Who do you like in this? Because going across the country is always tough. Traveling time zones is always tough. Lobos don't have a great track record on the East Coast. But I think the Lobos are pretty damn good.
They are a very good basketball team, and the Lobos are marquee names in these matchups. Yes, it's UCLA and St. John's, but these are games that the college basketball world is noticing because of how good the Lobos are. And I'm expecting another fantastic matchup, and especially the guards. When you look at St. John's, they have 2 players averaging 6 or more assists in games, so they're moving the basketball. They're playing fast, up-tempo, facing their biggest test of the season with the Lobos coming in. New Mexico saw high-level athletes against UCLA. They look like the better team on the floor. I think it's going to be a much closer game. I think St. John's play better than UCLA, especially the atmosphere. Being in New York, Madison Square Garden versus just kind of a neutral site game. And you saw how New Mexico responded, firsthand against UCLA. So I'm expecting them to be game, but this to be a much tougher game for New Mexico.
St. John's beat Wagner last night, 66-45. So they're beating everybody by 20-plus points. And this is what Rick Pitino said after the game, because, look, here comes New Mexico. It's the first of 8 home games that they'll play at Madison Square Garden. They play on campus. They got their gym there on campus that they play, and they play some games at Madison Square Garden. Quote from Rick Pitino on Richard Pitino's New Mexico team. New Mexico is probably the number 1 offensive pace team in the country, and I know it better than anybody, so we've got to get ready for this pace. They've got a great guard. They've got great support players. They've got a terrific inside player. This is a tough, tough test. That was part of his quote. He knows about that interior player, that what he called a terrific inside player, Nelly Jr. Joseph, who played for Rick Pitino at Iona. Rick Pitino was 2-1 against Richard. Both wins coming when Rick was at Louisville. Richard and New Mexico beat Iona 2 years ago at the Pit. Continued quote from Rick Pitino. They're capable of beating us. I know that. I've never thought of disowning a son, but it may come to that. End quote. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. I think Rick enjoys this father-son thing way more than Richard, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And he's in the position where he can. And I think, Richard has talks about that of his own path, his own resume, what he's trying to build. And, Rick can enjoy this way more than Richard can.
I know Richard
outwardly as well.
Well, I think Richard likes this game as the opportunity and is appreciative of the opportunity that his dad is giving him, right? I don't know that New Mexico gets a shot at St. John's in Madison Square Garden if Rick's not the coach. So maybe they do. No, maybe you do. You can go on the road and get games, but maybe not, because teams don't want to play teams who may beat them.
Well, and
right?
Why would, honestly, you could reach out, but I don't even know, would that be where you'd be looking for a game?
It'd be a relationship thing, right? I mean, if Mick Cronin's at UCLA, and Mick, and hey, we want to come play Pauley Pavilion, right? Maybe they give you a game. I mean, if you look at what they played before, it's been Quinnipiac and who else St. John's played? I mean, it's Quinnipiac and Wagner, and that's what they've been doing, right? Why are they taking this game? Fordham, Quinnipiac, and Wagner. That's who they played. They're winning by an average of 23 points a game. But after this, now it gets tougher. New Mexico, Baylor, Georgia, Harvard, Kansas State. I mean, he's going to find out a lot more about his team. I think this is interesting because I think, to your point, and you put this on the sheet this morning, on ESPN's top 100 board, St. John's got a couple of dudes, right? Aaron Scott is number 70. Cadre Richmond number 100 on their board. They've got some players who are studs, and Richard was on with us yesterday talking about the NBA caliber that is on St. John's. This is going to be a real test. I think there's a couple of things, and I think you were right when you said, do your walkthrough on Saturday, go in there, stare around at the banners, open your mouth and stare at the sky.
I don't even know if you can do that.
That's a really great point because there probably isn't a shoot-around.
Not, so you're going to have to have your shoot-around.
Probably at Alumni Hall or Carnesecca Arena or whatever they call it now, yeah.
Whatever facilities available, basketball court, have you shoot-around, walk through, and then you're going to have
Rucker Park. Yeah, maybe they'll go out to Rucker Park.
That would actually be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
Enjoy those moments, but then you'll have to take it in, focus, and address the energy on Sunday.
Yeah, and just don't be in awe.
Fight in there this weekend.
Well, no, you're right. I think there's something else. There's a Knicks game that night. Don't be in awe, I think, is the thing. And I know that's so easy to say because every damn person in the crowd is in awe, right? Everybody who is going is in awe. Everybody, like all these Lobo fans, oh my God, Madison Square Garden, oh my God, it's the greatest thing. Yeah, it's really cool. And I've been there and it is cool. But it's, in reality, like with all due respect, it's another arena. Like you sit in there and you soak up the history. I guess when I went, I'd never seen a game at Cameron Indoor, but I've been there twice. And JJ, that was a place where I walked around and looked at the plaques and looked at the arena and looked at the Duke Hall of Fame. But I looked at it and it's like, wow, this is old gym, right? And I know what the history is. I've been in Madison Square Garden, getting there and Penn Station adjacent and right in the center of the city. And it's all really cool. You soak up the history, I imagine, but it's another arena. It's another basketball court, but we'll see. We'll see. Because there's a real good chance they get off to a slow start and are playing catch up, right?
There is. And I think St. John's is, Nick, you said, we'll let our eyes tell us over the next couple of weeks is UCLA versus St. John's, but I'm expecting a better start from the Red Storm, better energy early in the game, and the Lobos know how to play against athletes. I think Donovan Dent it's another, prove it for him. He's like, okay, you guys are getting recognition. Well, I think when you start updating these lists in the next couple of weeks, could he be a top 100 dude?
Well, I mean, if he continues to have these performances against these teams. Now, granted, he had 9 turnovers, but he was terrific against UCLA. If he does it against St. John's, Arizona State, USC, VCU, yeah. All right, when we come back, it's time to do a 3-for-all. JJ and I will pick 3 games off of the NFL board, overs, under totals, or lines, or whatever it is we happen to like, and go against us because we're not very good. Although we both are just a tick over 500, so I guess that's probably decent. So we'll do that when we get back. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Hey, I tell you about IPS every day because I believe in what they do. International Protective Service is affordable, private security. They will protect what you've worked so hard to build. And I know you see them in your neighborhood. I know you see them at stores. Why are they there? Because they keep the bad guys away and they catch bad guys in the act. If you've been a victim of property crime, you get it. It takes too long for the police to show up, and not because they're not doing their job. There's just not enough of them. There's just not enough police officers to respond to all of the calls that they get for property crime. That's where IPS comes in. They respond to alarms within 5 to 7 minutes at properties that they monitor. And it gives me peace of mind, my neighbors peace of mind. They work. So who's watching your home when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys. Call IPS. See what they can do for you. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They are online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Deutsch says on the email, Jeff at sportsoutofbq.com, that hotel looks familiar, Jeffers. It looks like the place I recently stayed at in Fort Collins. Really? They all look alike, JJ. Especially with the lighting I got in here today. It's like, I don't even know what that's bright. It's like one of these lights, like it shoots straight down, so it's not really a lamp. So I know, I did.
Yeah, they're not too concerned of the lighting in your hotel room.
Yeah, I guess if I shoot, I don't know, it's not going to work. I apologize about the dark silhouette face thing. I guess does that make it better? Maybe.
Okay. There we go.
Is that better? So I got the background out. All right. Is that a little bit? You almost can see my face now. All right. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Are you ready for 3-for-all, JJ? You got the totals? Because I don't have the totals. I think I was 2-1 and you were 1-2 last week. Is that right?
Yeah. So came back down to earth. Did I was 1-2 last week, so I'm 17-16 overall. That was after a stretch of going 11-4.
Yeah, that's a hell of a run.
You were 2-1, so you're 17-15-1 on the plus side.
All right. You want to start? Or you want me to start?
You can go first.
I'm going with the chunky number, dude. I just am.
Campbell's soup.
Yeah, exactly. The Campbell's soup. This is the one team that does really blow teams out, but the number is so thick. I don't feel great about any of these. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really love any of these this week. But I'm going to take the Jaguars to 14 points on the road at Detroit.
Jags plus 14.
Yeah, it's just
that's a quality thing. I did that a lot early in the season, attacking those big numbers.
it's just such a big number, and it was healthy for me early. So, yeah, I don't love the pick, but I'm going to take it. Well, shoot, and they're without Trevor Lawrence too. That might be even worse. You know what? Can I say I don't want to do that? I forgot that Trevor Lawrence was out. Can I give you another one? I'm taking my number one pick. I'm taking the Chargers minus 1.5 at Cincinnati. Scratch the Jaguars pick. I'll find another one.
All right, we're scratching the Jags.
Yeah, Chargers minus 1.5 at Cincinnati.
The Lions are going to defeat the Jags in a.
They're going to kick their ass.
Yeah. I'm going with the trend, and it's this dude as an underdog wins football games, and give me Kansas City +2 in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's a really good one, and I may end up taking the other side because I got to find another game. But all right, what's your second one?
Scouring the research, going looking at all these games. I am going to take Green Bay minus 5.5 in Chicago, and probably expecting a bounce back, coordinator change. I think Jordan Love, be as healthy as he's going to be at this point in time, needs some explosiveness from that offense, but I'll take the Packers over the Bears on the road.
All right, my second one is going to be a road dog. I just think they're better. I'm going to take the Falcons +2 in Denver.
Yeah, that's a one. I was surprised that the Broncos were favorites in that one. I thought it would be the other way around. So I can see that being a solid bet going into the weekend, even in a tough.
All right. You want my last one?
Yeah. What do you got?
All right. I feel a little better, not great about this, than the Jaguars without Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. So I'm going to go on what you just said. You said I'm playing the trends. Lamar Jackson is 1-3 against the Steelers. Steelers are 3-point home dogs. They play tight games every week. I will take the Steelers and 3 points at home against the Ravens.
Solid. Like that reasoning behind that one.
It's trends, right? I mean, that's how this is supposed. I listened to all these guys. Well, if you take the trends and they're 16, 12, and 2 against the spread against in November when it snows, right? Those guys. I don't know. That's where I went.
I like it. So this is one that. Gosh, you get the 3.
There's no easy ones, right? This is a tough board this week. Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's my analysis that has no backing to it. But after a bad game, this feels like the upside. And I'll take Cleveland +1 at New Orleans.
That was such a tough game.
Jameis Winston, he's the roller coaster, right? So if he has a good game, you can expect a bad game right after. And that's what we saw last week. So Jameis Winston, former Saints backup. Now, they don't have the Dennis Allen thing there anymore with what happened last year because he just got fired.
Right.
I'll just take them +1 in New Orleans. 2
separate
teams.
That game I stared at for a minute, and I'm like, I just don't have a feel. Because, I mean, okay, so the Saints won last week, and who'd they beat? Did they beat somebody they shouldn't beat?
They're going to have to win outright, so that's not
Atlanta
a line to take because you don't even get a cover there. Like,
Right.
So I'm having to go outright winner with Cleveland, but I'll take it.
The other one I scratched off was I was going to go under on that Falcons-Broncos game, but I opted to take the points instead. So, all right, so you got Kansas City +2 at Buffalo. You got Green Bay -5.5 at Chicago, and you got Cleveland +1 point at New Orleans. You took 3 road teams. I got the Chargers laying 1.5 at home. Doesn't that feel thin against Cincinnati at home? I understand everybody loves Cincinnati and Joe Burrow, and nobody talks about the Chargers. You know how I feel about the Chargers. But I look at 2 teams, and who's playing better and who's not?
It's a Chargers defense has been one of the best in the league, and they've taken care of who's on their schedule. This will be the best test for them against Joe Burrow in this offense. I like the game overall, but I can see you feeling how LA at home is the easy pick there.
I don't know if it's easy, but that's
easy,
the
but
pick.
How you would like them in this situation where because we're just like it's the kind of the Cincinnati. It's like the way we talk about them. You think like, well, these should be, AFC champion, like contenders, right? But they're not there. But yet there's just still that love for the team.
Yeah, I'm over them. I actually am really over. That's the Sunday night game. I got a 4. I'm just now they need to win. All right, so I got the Chargers laying 1.5 at home against Cincinnati. Falcons on the road getting 2 in Denver, and the Steelers as home dogs picking up 3 points against the Ravens in a gigantic clash to the top of the AFC North. So that's the 3 for all. You can get in on yours, what you like. You're welcome to do that at 505-246-0610. James says the women beat Gonzaga, right, Jeff? This is the season, isn't it? This isn't the same Zag squad we've seen in the past. I don't know. When did they get Gonzaga? Next week?
That'll be next Sunday.
Is that in Spokane?
No,
that's home. You get them at home, so you're not going up there. Why are they playing Sunday, JJ? I got a meeting across town, and what time is it? What time's the game?
It's 1:00 on Sunday.
Yeah, it conflicts with. I'm just stealing everybody's. Well, I'm still going to get those same emails. Why are they doing it? It doesn't fit for me. You're not going anyway. All right, this is from John in the Duke City. Jeff, JJ, I think that Iron Mike Tyson will win his upcoming boxing match. Jake Paul is tough, no doubt. However, Iron Mike is still effective, even at 58 years old. Going to be good. John, I don't know how effective he is. I mean, dude looks good for 58. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
How do you know how effective he is? I mean, we haven't seen him fight in 3 decades. I have no idea. But John probably
old man.
Yeah. But John's probably of that age where you remember what Mike was. I'm just telling you, dude. It's like it's going to be you in 20, 30 years, where LeBron's going to play. He's going to be 58. 60 years old, and he's going to play a one-on-one against whoever the new up-and-coming LeBron Michael is. And in your mind, you're going to say, there's no way Mike can lose. No way LeBron can lose. He's the greatest thing ever. I remember LeBron, right? And then there's going to be a piece of you that says, he's 60 years old, for crying out loud. It's like, did you see Michael Jordan's quote? This is a few years back. He was talking about, I think it was the Warriors, and he said, our Bulls team, we would have beat the Warriors by 2 points. And so he said, 2 points? Like, Mike, really only by 2? He's like, yeah, but we're all 60 years old right now.
Yeah, he's talking about this right now.
Yeah, right. And that's what he was talking about. It's like you get in your mind, I really think that's where John is, you get in your mind, man, I remember what Mike was. And you haven't seen anything that makes you remember anything different other than dude's 58, And he's still Mike, and he's still the baddest man in the world in your mind, but we may get a different impression after tonight. On the football stadiums, and I was telling you they're built north and south and the sun thing, and I got a text that says if you construct the fields where they are facing north and south, the sun is minimal problem. It's pretty stupid to make your football field face east to west. The end zones have to be north and south, and that's pretty much eliminates the sun's participation in the game. Yeah, no, that's basically what I was telling you. Almost every football stadium you go to runs north and south, and again, TV cameras will be set up on the west side. So there's a science. It's not incredibly difficult science to this, but there's a theory to this, a science to this, and that's why they do it. So, all right, when we come back, we'll wrap it up, get you ready for the weekend. Still have time for you to get in at 505-246-0610. Your emails still come in, jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. Should we hoe? Should we wake people up in this place? I probably need to hoe a little bit, don't you think? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot! Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. she'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I think I'm at the same elevation, right? I mean, I was going to say it's like a sea level hole, but it wasn't. I mean, with the construction that's going on in this crib, everybody's got to be already up. Ain't nobody's sleeping in. I checked in last night, and he's like, "Yeah, construction's from 9 to 5." And I'm like, "Dude, what if I want to get work done and They sent out this email. We're going under construction, but it was like within 24 hours, so you couldn't cancel. He's like, well, I'll cancel your reservation, sir. Do you want another? We'll try to find you another hotel. I'm like, no, dude, I'm here. Like, what are we doing? So, yeah. You been in one of those construction hotels yet? Recently?
I've been in them before. Yep.
Yeah, pleasant. All right, 505-246-06. So, what are you looking forward to the most this weekend? Because I'm not going to lie. I'm super looking forward to Lobo football tomorrow. I really am. I just want to see what they look like. And look, this can run the gamut. You can walk out of there beyond stoked. You could walk out of there a little disappointed that, all right, we're kind of back to where maybe we were. And I don't think that's right, back to where you were. But you may get, there could be a little reality check. Or you could go, holy smokes. I mean, this football team's made huge strides. You got basketball, which is, the word litmus test was thrown around against UCLA. I didn't hear that much this week, but it's really another opportunity. You got the two fights, which can be terrific. Like, what's number one on your list?
It's Lobo Athletics. And I'll be working all weekend, but wanting to see how football plays and then marquee non-conference game. We talked so much about this non-conference schedule, and this is one of those games, a road opportunity, resume builder, when you have expectations not just within conference but to be a player in the NCAA tournament. These are the games that will make a difference when it comes to your seed line if you're in that conversation.
Who do you like in the border war tonight? Colorado State's a 10-point favorite against 9.5 now. It's been bet down against Wyoming, a Wyoming team that's had a week off since beating New Mexico, found a quarterback. This game is one of those rivalry games where, gosh, I threw a gosh at you. It's always super close. Colorado State's winning, but, winning, 38-20? That's 17 points. Beat New Mexico by 11. Beat Air Force by a touchdown. Beat San Jose State by a touchdown. Beat Oregon State by a touchdown. Or lost to Oregon State by a touchdown. UTEP by 10. Colorado State's been doing enough to get by. Who do you like tonight?
I like the Rams.
Okay. All right. Most people do. All right. Let's go to the phones. 505-246-0610. Terry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Good Friday, Jeff. Good Friday, JJ. As always, thoughts and hugs to all family members. Hope they're all doing well, staying healthy, and getting ready for the holidays. I think you guys were messing with this old man this week when you're playing the old promotion of the Bucs-Niners game. Made me wonder if my medication I was taking too much or too little. But I just being ornery on that. Do you think 20,000 is the number for the football game? Would that be right? I still don't know. Due to health reasons, I wanted to go. I don't think I'll make it. But is it TV cost? I just think why, I thought they would hit 20,000 against Wyoming, and it came up a little short because they were kind of in a similar position. I just kind of curious, or just the way the town is. Basketball, win or lose, the minute you're done with teams like UCLA and St. John's, you're a true fan, you want them to have great years because it'll help your seeding and everything. You can have your one team, which most likely Lobo fans, that state that you want to lose every game. Get done with these teams you play. You want them to have great years, so it helps you out and all that. Should be a heck of a game. Kids get in to play in Madison Square Garden, and they got to enjoy the experience and all that and see how it goes that way. But from that, just as a side note, Michigan, they still have to win a game to make be bowl eligible?
Yeah, they got Northwestern next week. They're not eligible yet. And I don't know if there has been a national champion who has come back the next year and not been bowl eligible. I don't know that that's happened.
Well, going into this weekend, neither them or Washington, both teams in the national championship, are sitting at 5-5, needing a win in their last two. And it seems to be the next game would be both better because Michigan would follow with Ohio State, and Washington's last games against Oregon.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of one of those, but it's part of what happens in transfer portal, and you just write a big check to a quarterback coming in, and the defense still plays well, but, the pocketbooks will hit, and things go around that way. But you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Enjoy everything, and take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Both Michigan and Washington lost their head coaches. They both lost their quarterbacks. They're both in the NFL. They were both first-round picks. It's year to year, man. And I read you the story earlier about the report that Michigan's collective or whomever is running their NIL it was confirmed in this report, offered a high school quarterback $10.5 million in NIL money over 4 years to come play at Michigan. LSU evidently has offered the young man quite a package as well. We're getting in bidding wars. Like where does it end up? If Michigan offered him 10.5 and LSU wants him, I promise you LSU is going to find more money. These guys are going to, I don't know, we're talking about $60 million quarterbacks in the NFL. How soon, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but we're going to be sitting here in 4 or 5 years and it's not going to be all that ridiculous. How soon before it's $20, $30 million quarterbacks in college football?
Well, if there's no structure to it, then it's just going to keep going up and up and up.
And I've said this to you before, and I don't know the answer, and maybe we get Kurt back in here and talk about this, because I talked to him about it in Vegas last week. How sustainable is it? Every guy at LSU who's given money to the collective, and LSU's the wrong, well, maybe it is the right, because they've now got 3 losses, and so they're not going to play in the playoff. Every guy who gives money to the collective thinks that he or she is buying a championship, right? Every time you say, hey, let's go get a quarterback, you think you're buying whatever level it is you think. And if you're not, how long are you going to keep giving? And it's going to be interesting to watch. All right, good week, dude. Really good week. The Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On's in at 4. JJ's on the air tonight with Lobo women's basketball at 6:30 against Western New Mexico. We got stuff all weekend. I'm on. JJ's got
broadcast tomorrow.
Yeah, big football broadcast that I'll be part of tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Just a great weekend. Adrian, great week. I know it's a big day for you, so enjoy it. Have a great call tonight.
Thank you.
Have a great, safe weekend, boys and girls. We're back Monday morning at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you on Monday.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone.